Ariel Helwani post-fight at UFC 187 alongside Greg Jackson, who had a very good night, but an emotional night.
Very.
Let's start with Donald Cerrone. He told me that he had a pretty serious injury. You wanted him to pull out of the fight. He refused. How hard did you try to get him to pull out of this fight? And tell us about the injury.
Yeah, he injured his ribs a little bit, and it was pretty bad. Where I was like, listen, my oh, Dad, you'll say it funny stuff for it. But anyway, I'm worried about their health. That's number one. You know what I mean? The fighting is great. It's a sport, and as a person, I worry about Cowboy. So I want to make sure that he's all right. And so I was like, this looks pretty bad. And he's like, nope, I got it. I'm good. And I said, okay, if you're good, then we got to go all in. You know what I mean? If you're going to go, you got to go all the way. We got to heal. You got to make sure you're doing everything right. And once he said, I'm going to do it no matter what, then I was like, all right, then we're in. Let's do this thing.
But if it was up to you, you would have had him pull out.
Yeah, just because I worry about his health. You know what I mean? Like, it was a bad injury, and he'll never be like, oh, it was bad. But I know bad. I've been doing this 22 years, and he's a tough son of a gun. And so my hat's off to him. You know, I was against it, but the second my guys are like, I'm going to do it, then I have to be like, that's my guy. So I go all in. I'm like, I'm going to think of every strategy, everything I can do to help, and then we're gonna roll the dice and run it. Let's go.
How long ago did it happen?
72 years, which is weird because the fight was only tonight. No, it was, I don't remember exactly, but it was about halfway through camp, maybe a little more than halfway through camp. And Khabib also hurt himself, so I was like, oh, wow, maybe, the fight's off. And then they're like, nope, he's going to fight. I was like, okay, well. I said, are you sure? You can pull out. Are you sure? He's like, nope, we're doing it. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
So with that in mind, how nervous were you for his fight?
I'm always nervous for those guys' fights. Like those three tonight that fought, I mean, they've been with me. Like Andre, of course, we have a connection. But Little John's been training with me since he's 17. Cowboy since he was probably, 20? I mean, these guys are like, since they were kids, I've watched them grow up and mature and evolve as fighters. And so, yeah, I mean, those guys have been around a long time, and they're super loyal and super sweethearts, good human beings. And, yeah, like that was an emotional night.
Would you like to see him get a title shot now? Has he done enough?
Yeah, absolutely. And watching him fight, I was like, okay, I see.
Do you think he'll be out for a long time because of this injury?
No, that guy's like Wolverine. He's just healing right up.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I saw you shed some tears after that unbelievable, shocking Andre Arlovski Travis Browne fight. Is that accurate? And why were you so emotional? Because I'm not used to seeing you like that.
Yeah, well, usually, I mean, I do some more fights than anybody, so usually I'm pretty calm, cool, and collected. But if we just put so much time in with Andre, we've gone. I mean, I run with him every week, every single night at 5 at night. We work together 5 days a week, and so there's a lot of work there. We've gone to every country from Belarus to Moscow to Indonesia to Manila, whatever it is. Like I've gone all over the world to get his career back, to build him back up the right way, and just to see him win. I mean, Travis is such a tough and amazing opponent, and to see him win the way he did in the first round, just looking like I knew he could look like. When he had those 6 losses in a row and I kind of took over the camp, I was like, this guy isn't done. I know he has more. And then just to see that he has more. I mean, he went from being, oh, maybe I don't have it anymore and retiring to being, now he's top 3 in the world, top 4.
You could say he could get a title shot next too.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely right. So it's, even if it just stopped now, what a great comeback story. You know what I mean? And it just hit me there, like all the hard work, and it's been hard work coming to a head there. It hit me pretty good. And you got to put your heart and your soul into this sport, because it's a brutal sport, and for everybody. And if you don't put your heart and your soul into it and really go all in, it'll eat you alive. But every once in a while, it gives you something back.
Yeah, it's one of your finest pieces of work. His comeback is an unbelievable story. Do you think that he's ready for a title shot, considering what he's done at this point, or would you like him to have one more?
It doesn't matter, I mean, it's just they're all like I always say to everybody, it's just puzzles in front of me. It's just puzzles in front of me. So, yeah, I mean, if they call us tomorrow for the title, of course we'll take it. You can't turn that down. But if we have one more fight, whatever.
How close was he to pulling out of his fight? It seemed like at the 11th hour they were trying to see if he would actually fight. What happened there?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of questions as to it, and of course they were like, well, it's your call, Greg, so whatever you want to do. No, okay.
Sport killer.
Yeah, exactly, that. So I made him do some jump rope and move around a little bit, because, again, it's their health that I care about the most. And so I was like, oh, he's good. He's on tonight. And I just saw his reflexes and his ability to move. And I was like, okay, we're good.
What happened?
He twisted his ankle in the night before I got here, working with some of our other coaches who are amazing coaches. They're great guys, and it was just one of those things, that happened. And so he was in pretty bad shape, and we let it rest for a couple days, and we got to come back, and I made the right call. I don't always make the right call. Tonight was the right call.
And Dotson seemed upset with his performance. Do you share that sentiment?
No, not at all. I mean, coming off, Dotson is a timing-oriented fighter. He's beautiful in his rhythm and the way he acquires his opponent's timing and then able to crack him with that back shot. And when you go a year, when you're that style of fighter, and you go a year without doing that, it's very hard to get that back. And there's different styles of fighters. There's grinding fighters. There's all kinds. There's artistic fighters, and he's a timing fighter. He's beautiful on his timing. And so when you're out a year, timing.
Final thing, Daniel Cormier talking in back of us right now. It was a great moment, a wonderful moment tonight with Cormier winning, but I couldn't help but think about a man in Albuquerque and what he's thinking about all this. He has been very quiet in the last month. Can you put us into his mind? Can you put us into what he's feeling right now, seeing another man, his rival, with the belt?
You'd have to ask him. I got no idea, brother. I'm just enjoying the night. Wow, they're really going at it back there.
We'll check that out. Thank you so much. Congratulations on an amazing night.
Thank you very much, everyone.